Hey everybody, it's Laurie Blomer here. It is Sunday, December 8th, 2024. And we're here for today's card pull, this week's card pull for spiritual reflection and spiritual inspiration. I am facing the front of my office here. There's a street right there, so you might see reflections off my glasses and across the ceiling. So things get a little wacky light-wise, that's why. Occasionally we have little orbs that float by too. If I see one, I will let you know. Before I get into pulling today's card, I wanted to let everyone know I have an annual sale on my gift certificates and actually this year on my readings as well. Between now and December 22nd, you can purchase a gift certificate for someone at 20% off, or you can schedule yourself a reading by using my booking tool online. You can schedule it however far into the future you want to, but have the benefit of the 20% off. But it only goes to the 22nd, come 11:59 p.m. on December 22nd, Eastern time. It ends. And again, I only do it once a year, so take advantage of that window. If you want to buy it, gift yourself a reading in the future, you're not sure when you want to, what date you want to have it on, then you might consider just getting yourself the gift certificate. There's no expiration date. You can use it whenever you feel you need to. So anyway, just a little FYI there. Let's get into pulling today's card. So welcome back for those of you who've been following along. For those of you who are new to this, welcome. Almost every week, I pull a card at the beginning of the week for spiritual reflection and spiritual inspiration. I call it a helpful lens through which to view my experience over the course of the week for the purpose of spiritual growth, for the purpose of becoming a better human being, becoming wiser. It's just sort of a helpful frame of reference, if you will. And I work with whatever deck I feel inspired to. That's why I call it a card pull, because I pull a card randomly. I use my intuition guide me to pull the card, and that always with the intention of pulling a card that will benefit me for my own spiritual growth, and also for anyone who's watching the video or reading the email that accompanies it. I pull the card, I do the video, I send a picture of the card off to my friend Heather Coletti, who is a life coach, philosopher, and astrologer. And Heather is going to give her spin astrologically about sort of the lay of the land and the astrological dynamics for the week. So it's kind of fun. So you're only going to get that spin if you see the video, or excuse me, if you read the email that accompanies the video. So if you're not on my distribution list, you might consider doing that. Just go out on my website or go into the footer of one of my emails if you've corresponded with me before, and you'll see a link there to get yourself on the distribution list. I only email people with important things, but these weekly card pulls are part of it, and I think they're important. So this week I'm working with another deck by Colette Baron Reid. I don't think I've used this one in the last 2 years I've been doing this. Maybe I have. I promise you this is not a paid promotion by Sonia Colette. I just really like her decks. It's called Ask Your Guides. And she does have a book on working with spirit guides that sort of is a companion book to this deck. It's a 52 card deck. It's very well rounded. She uses different terminology on types of spirit guides, but what you will see is a word, an image. She uses numbers on these, and also she will put a reference at the bottom of the card about what spirit guides are sort of sending this message. I'm not really pulling these cards for these weekly card pulls with the intention of working with spirit guides specifically, nor am I doing this as a sort of a predictive thing. Again, it's more for inspiration and reflection. But as always, I will share with you what jumps out to me intuitively, and I want you to honor what jumps out to you intuitively about your life, the week that you know is coming up for you, and so on. So take whatever inspiration you want to from it. But always I sort of shuffle as I'm talking, and that sort of helps me tune into the coordinates of my query, which is to pull a card for spiritual reflection and inspiration for myself and anyone else who's paying attention here. When I'm standing up, this is how I typically choose cards. I will literally just take the deck, split it in two, whichever one my thumb is on, that's the one I go with. That's the random, intuitive part of it. And our card is Partnerships and Love, Nature Spirits. I really love this. I always say that about cards, but I do. First of all, it's card number 2. In numerology, 2 is considered to be the female principle. It's also the principle of our individual relationships. It's the most intuitive of all the numbers in numerology. And it's also one that speaks to how we operate and how we are in relationship individually with other people. Not so much groups, but how we interact with people individually. But of course, individuals are part of groups. 2 is also about choices, and this versus that. So 2 I'm going to tell you what my takeaway here is. First of all, the idea of nature spirits helping us out. I take a roughly 2-mile walk every morning, like literally feed the cats, walk out the door with my coffee, and off I go. Often the sun's not even really up yet. That is a place where I really find grounding and connection. Sort of takes away all the existential crazy stuff that humans think about. It brings me back in connection with this earth. And it's a reminder to me that we are part of this earthly community. Plants could care less about what's going on politically or socially. Plants don't question their own existence, nor do wild animals. So it's a place where I go out into nature and really connect and get grounded. So that's one of the things that makes me think of. And again, a reminder that we are part of an earthly community that is quite profound and is not all human. It's animal, it's plant, it's other. So that's one thing that occurs to me. And I also shared, as I said, a bit about number 2. But the idea of partnerships and love in general, around the holidays, we talk so much about this idea of community and sharing. How do we support others? How do we give thanks? All that kind of stuff. It really kind of starts with Thanksgiving and moves forward. I think what I'm going to be thinking about this week is not only continuing to connect with nature as a place in this crazy time of year where things are very busy that gets me regrounded, but also who do I want to forge healthy partnerships with, and how can I show my love for those people? And it's also making me think of those places where we can be generous. Places, groups, we have an opportunity to share, especially for those who are this time of year being reminded of what a family time of year this is and aren't necessarily close with their families, nor do they feel supported by them. So it gives us a chance as friends to be a family of choice and to find a family of choice. So that's what I'm going to be thinking about. Those partnerships that are important to me, how do I show those folks my love? And also that reminder when things get a little wackadoodle, especially with humans and our ability to overcomplicate things, going back into nature and being reminded that we're part of a much greater, more profound natural community that includes humans. It includes sentient beings such as animals. It includes sentient beings, then they are sentient beings, such as plants. So that's my takeaway. I encourage you to take away. I'm just going to add one more thing, and that is the idea of leaning in. If you are one of those people that are feeling disconnected with family, not feeling like you have a lot of friends, this is a really good time to be leaning in and ask for what you need. So if you feel like, well, nobody's contacting me to get together, be the person who reaches out and saying, hey, I really like to do something. I'd like to go to this museum or having this event going on in this town and this weekend. Anybody want to come with me? So, don't wait to be tapped on the shoulder. It's a busy time of year. People may not be, they're running all over the place, but that doesn't mean if you don't reach out to them and say, I'd like to do something. Do you want to come along? Do you want to meet up for coffee? Hey, anybody want to do a potluck on Thursday night? Be the one to initiate it. And it also gives you the right to be discerning. Who do I want to hang out with? Who are those relationships that I really want to foster? And put you in a driver's seat in that respect. So just some things to think about. It's a really beautiful card. It's a beautiful message. So I wish you all a wonderful week. My name's Laurie Blomer. My website is laurieblomer.com. My email address is laurieblomerpsychic@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to work with you. And I just really wish you a really inspired week. And we'll see you next Sunday. Thanks.